Previously on Startup Warriors. 9 bold Web3 startups landed in Bali, ready to put their ideas and identities to the ultimate test. After conquering a volcano and immersing themselves in Balinese tradition, they dove into the depths, exploring both the ocean and their own adaptability. And now, a new challenge awaits.
Welcome to Startup Warriors, reality bootcamp for entrepreneurs. I am Nelson Lopez, and this beautiful backdrop you see is Bali. As our founders pitch for capital, they learned that attracting investments is about more than just numbers. It's about trust, strategy, and making the right connections. And who knows, the connections they make today will shape the future.
In this episode, we literally turn up the heat. Founders strip down their tokenomics in a Steamy setting, facing top token experts who won't let any fluff slide. It's not about the hot air. They'll have to prove their models are built to last beyond the hype. So let's dive into Startup Warriors.
Hello everybody. Today's activity we're going to have is Banya. It's a very common in different cultures to participate in some type of activity as such. They have tea mezcal in Mexico, they have sauna in Finland, they have hammam in Turkey, and many cultures have this kind of a tradition. I'm the CEO and founder of GriGon. We're a Tokenomics consulting and a market making firm. I started my path in Web3 in traditional finance, working in commercial banking, investment banking, and working in asset management at Berkshire Hathaway. Apart from this being a health activity, a lot of business is done in Banya. For example, when Elon Musk was looking to acquire a spaceship, he visited Kazakhstan, and the first place where the people who were in charge of handling the deal, the first place they took him to Banya. He actually spent there 3 days. The problem was that instead of discussing Starship sales, they spent time drinking vodka and enjoying the experience. But that's a whole different story. In my personal experience as well, I have gone to different types of events, spoken to investors there who were really involved into the Banya culture. We have spent about an hour and a half discussing different types and different flavors of Banya, if I could say that, after which they have invited me to go with them and their friends. And I kid you not, there were more deals made in that Banya than there were at the entire event that we have met at and we have been previously. Today, we have scheduled a workshop with the founders. During this workshop, we have shuffled everybody's projects, put them on a piece of paper, and put them in a hat. So founders are going to split into groups of 2, and each group is going to pull a project from that hat. They're going to get a brief description of the project is about, and their job is going to be to come up with a narrative for the project's token and to pitch that narrative of the token to the whole group as investors. The group is going to ask them questions. The group is going to try to find ways to flaw their tokenomics, and their job is going to be defend themselves.
Join the community-driven platform for digital nomads. Experience freedom and rewards for travelers, supported by the Solana Foundation.
All right. Thank you everyone so much for coming. Today at our after lunch session, we're going to do a small workshop. So the topic of this workshop is narrative, and narrative is extremely important when you're going to be talking to your potential investors, because every single time you have a conversation with somebody who you're trying to sell, and talking to investors is sales. You're selling them a token that you have in your company. You're selling them a share of your company. You're selling them a utility that your token is going to have. And when you're trying to make that sale, you have to be able to explain to them very precisely and very convincingly why people are going to be buying your token, what is their outlook for next 1, 2, 3, 5 years for holding your token. Tokenomics is a science of harnessing power of digital assets and turning that into tangible value for everyday people and for Web3 users. Tokens are designed to serve protocols. Token is a powerful tool that could be used to enhance the user experience of Web3 products, to harness the value of the users and transfer that value to the stakeholders of the product. Tokens have different mechanisms, different mechanics and capabilities, spanning from payment systems, claim systems, access systems, leverage systems, and many other types of utilities that could be brought on-chain and that could be leveraged in order to have a successful Web3 product. Okay, I have a question for you guys. So from what I understood, for regular users, they get access to your platform and they get access to the value you're providing through your platform by staking the tokens. But then your institutional and B2B users or clients, they need to pay a flat fee.
Not flat, it will depend on the software that they requires.
So yeah, they pay like a fixed amount for the software that they're providing. So from what I'm understanding, there's a pretty strong mechanism in terms of your B2B. But when you look at your B2C type of sales that you're providing, you're giving people a certain fixed amount that they have to stake, which removes the token liquidity from the market at a given point in time. But then when their time comes, they unstake and this liquidity goes back into the market. Do you think that this is a sustainable model? Or do you think that there are some other additional things that you might consider doing in order to remove the tokens from the market permanently, rather than just to have them temporarily?
I think the target is to be sustainable simply because they will be strongly dependent by our tools and they will find it useful. And if they unstake, they have the 50% burn, but it's not a big amount. So for us, the target is to have millions of users, so to target the large majority of DeFi, and to not have a big amount to be staked. So even if it's $50 per 1 million, it's $50 million, so it's not bad. And the idea is that even if someone has the stake and don't need so much, it's such a small amount that you are not going to sell it. So that's different from the trading. We plan to have a large community that has a bit of our token, so decentralize the ownership, not have big whales holding a lot of token.
The most common mistake that founders make with tokenomics is token first thinking. Token is designed to serve the protocol, not the other way around. So if you as a founder are trying to build a solid product with strong fundamentals, you have to think how your token complements your product. Does your product work without your token? If your answer is no, then you're probably doing something wrong. If the answer is yes, it does, but not as well as it could, then you're on the right track, and there is a way to implement the token in your product very successfully. There were a lot of exciting things today. Some of you had the first leaf treatment. A lot of comments about the ice baths. For some of you, it was too hot. For some of you, it was too cold. But generally, I really liked the way we have spent today. Anybody wants to share any comments, any excitements about today's activity?
Thank you, Denis, for giving me another experience of being beaten in the bank.
I will give you one more experience today's evening.
What happens in Bali?
We're just cooking. We're about discussing cooking.
Everything.
Carbonara competition.
Yes. Yeah, Sergey, he's a hidden gem,
Yes.
For wakeboarding and for banya, it's a good combo.
A talented person is talented in everything.
He asked AI and knows everything.
Ah, that's your secret.
Implant.
Yes, like in the Matrix. No.
Yeah. But definitely, Banya is missing out, Sergey.
Exactly.
If you will lose your work, For example, you can use Bali to earn money.
We'll make a startup Bali.
Why not?
We all believe in you. It's fine.
It will be a good startup.
Yes.
So we were discussing how there's sometimes partnerships that can be established in Banyas. Does it mean that every time we go to Banya, we can write it off as a business expense?
Absolutely. You just have to say it very convincingly to your accountant and to your tax agent.
Oh, okay.
But this, I mean, for me, this was definitely a very new experience. I mean, I had an idea about sauna, but this was totally interesting. This guy and Sergey giving me all the lift treatment. I started to appreciate the afterward feeling, you know, like in that moment, you're like, okay, what is happening? Why is so hot? Why is someone is beating me down? And then the ice bath, of course, is an incredible shock. But now, with the fire, with the people, and this good feeling, I appreciate why we do it and the culture about it. So it was definitely worth it.
That's really cool. I'm very glad that you liked it.
Use OKX, the world's leading assets platform for everything crypto. Download the app to buy, exchange, and trade faster now.
And now we are presenting you the SKP token and why it's needed.
Thank you very much, Ben. So we are structuring the platform around microloans because there's still a big business opportunity for people to just borrow money when they don't have access to any centralized banking systems. We are working with the largest banks in Latin America in order to make this happen. And there are multiple ways in order to create value for this token. So first of all, you can stake, of course, as a collateral in order to receive the loan. This already creates a lot of buy pressure for new starting up businesses. And we're also going to offer opportunities for liquidity provision for loan pools so that everybody globally can participate and also support those businesses. There's going to be a reward system, and as part of these loans, we're also going to have like a lockup structure. So the longer you lock up your tokens, the more you earn. And there's also a tiered system, so the more loans you provide or the more liquidity you also provide into those pools, the higher the reward. 0.1% of the fee is going to be burned off the token to really incentivize long-term growth. And we're also planning a governance feature where at one point the community can decide about certain allocations of fees, how fee structure should maybe change, for example, as well, in order to incentivize long-term growth and even more community growth as well around that. We're working together with merchant solutions to provide interoperability on a global scale. And we see this business opportunity as a field where we can immediately create a lot of buy pressure as part of this model, because it also creates a lot of liquidity based on the problem of those over like 500 billion remittance fees. Thank you.
Do we have any questions from our investors?
So the end user buys token, right? It's for end user. And I wanted to ask, like, how is the end user that needs a microcredit would buy tokens because they don't have money?
We have an app in the App Store, and you provide a certain collateral for this, for the token lending, and for that you get then the cash.
Could you please elaborate a little bit on this? Let's say I'm a farmer somewhere down in Chile. I produce wine. Chile has great wine. And this year I want to get a small loan of, let's say, $500 to fix some equipment, right? So what would be my process to do this, and how am I going to work with the Scopa token in order to be able to accomplish it?
So there are essentially two ways. So in the case of a farmer, for example, buying some goods to, like, for example, seams or anything he needs to start his business, either he needs to put in a collateral, which might be obviously a problem, and there we envision like the classical microloan concept, where you have guarantors which are providing upfront some capital. But in this case, the loans are much higher in terms of the returns, because you need to calculate that in some instances the loans can't be redeemed. So this needed to be taken into the interest model. But this is obviously like a major problem of the whole over-collateralization, how crypto right now is working, because somehow you need to generate trust. And if it's only like completely independent without any KYC, it wouldn't work for like the very basic use cases.
Yeah, of course. I like the idea. Perhaps you want to look into like a market between guarantors and people who are actually taking out these loans. Because perhaps there are already existent services who provide similar type of structure and who already have mechanisms in place that are able to collect upon these loans in case of the borrower defaults. But I definitely like the direction in which you guys are thinking. So thank you so much for your time. And yeah, let's give them a round of applause. At the time and age where financial institutions and government services have increased amount of centralized power, where the surveillance is prevalent, where financial control and financial monitoring. If I have one piece of advice for any founder out there, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Be afraid to repeat mistakes. There are a lot of things that have been tried. Web3 field is extremely experimental. Every single day somebody is trying a new approach, trying a new thing. Some of those things work, some of those things don't work. So when you're building something new, make sure that you're authentic and make sure that all of the flaws and all the mistakes are authentic to you. Take a look at what is happening around you. Don't repeat the mistakes of other people.
Spend crypto like fiat everywhere. Join Red.Pay now with the XFounders link and get $5 in credit.
But I think that probably all of you know a lot more of things that I don't know, and you have ideas, and I really want to create this kind of mafia-style group between us. So I think there's a lot of synergies that can be actually found between ourselves.
Yeah. And we can share values that we have.
Exactly.
Share values. And it's like a round table and King Arthur. Yeah? And you're my Lancelot.
I believe which is also very interesting is that we are all working in different market segments. Like, for example, access to South America is something we never thought about. And now I realized basically there are people here who can help us on that side. Or maybe access to a market of Asia, like Indonesia, very big market to explore these kind of opportunities. And besides that, I believe like there are really projects here who have so much potential collaborating, extending the product offering, which I was in the beginning not aware at all. And this should be like really explored over the next 3 weeks. I mean, we have this opportunity. Let's try to get something together.
I think it would be also good to map all the projects on a landscape because, for example, Mo is creating a wallet, no? And everything starts with a wallet because you need to securely interact with all of the services which we are also building. No? Then when it's about real-world asset tokenization, you are the pro here, no?
Yeah, Mars-based also tokenization, landscape also tokenization.
Unlocking the liquidity of already existing assets. So there's a lot of things which we can place on the spider web and start to draw different connections between each other.
Yeah, whiteboard.
Or on the value chain. No?
And guys, who knows, maybe at the end of the program we will have one startup bringing everything together.
That beats them all.
20 founders startup.
Just do a major pivot.
A week has passed and we all are doing a startup. Like we are all doing something very in a fast-paced environment, something innovative, and maybe we can share one milestone that every company has achieved this week. Like one milestone, like one thing that you're proud of. Not personally, not a personal thing, but something, a team's achievement. So
Just
Something
quite
like that.
simple. We are still alive.
Actually, I have several thoughts about this week. First of all, for me, it was like full of cool experts because we've started talking with Abhishek from the Binance team. I don't know, like in the morning, between the different meetings, and I understand that it was like an hour, but it feels like 10 minutes. Then we have one-on-one with the Abhishek, and after this couple of hours, he understands the whole business model and whole venture factors and ICPs from our company, and then I have this feeling that I understand that my company is not so easy to understand because it's a marketplace. You have a supply and demand. You have a lot of ICPs around that. But this guy is so good, and this role VP in something like vice president of the product. So he understands the whole bad and good things in our strategy, and he understands the whole system that we are going through, the bottom-up sales to the B2B direct sales and so on. And then after this just 2 hours, maybe at least it's like 1 hour and a half, he have these different propositions that we need to do this, that, and that. It was like some of them was my thoughts, and some of them was like the brand new ones. And I understand that, wow, it's like you can be deep in this kind of a different and difficult product just in a couple of hours, or maybe less. So for me, it's what I need to do, to understand the different products just in a couple of minutes or in a couple of hours, but deeper.
But Sergey, you are doing AI. You are going to conquer the world anyway.
You know.
Thank you, Sergey. Speaking of adaptation, I think one of the key milestones that I've probably achieved today is this is probably the longest I've been away from my wife and my family. It is a milestone on its own, right? We've been here for a couple of days. I mean, met you guys, and we're spending the next couple of weeks together as well. So those are milestones that I'm looking forward to. But at the same time, you know, you look back and you think at, okay, what really matters on a personal level. There's a lot that we soaked in from the educational part of the program, from all the mentors as well, their experiences. It also boils down to a personal on how we manage things as well. So I think one of the key milestones is, it's probably the longest time I've been away from my family. But then again, I call and check up on them. My wife tells me, you're gonna be all right. Yeah, something you gotta go through, something that's good for you. We'll grow, and we'll grow together, I guess. So I hope she's right, guys. So but in any case, I'm really looking forward to what the program has to offer for the next few weeks. Yeah, excited for it.
That's cool. Thank you for sharing, man.
Yeah.
As our journey reaches its equator, the stakes grow higher. Founders now dive into the world of marketing, the engine of momentum that turns visions into velocity. And a new challenge awaits, a race against time, reflex, and pressure. Because just like in startups, it's not only about having direction, it's about how fast you adapt when the track twists beneath you. Subscribe, like, and share, and don't miss what's coming next on Startup Warriors.